So who is Brian Latimer? That's a very fluid question to ask. Yeah, guarantee some fish in here. Ooh, that's a big one that time. That's gonna be a big one. Oh yes, dude, that is a giant. I love tournament fish. My first tournament was I was in 2nd grade, so that's definitely a part of my lineage, literally.
Tell us what happened.
A 5-bass limit for BLAT, South Carolina's Brian Latimer.
There's also a lot of other different aspects. Some days I'm a dad, and then there's other days where I'm a fishing teacher. And there's other days where I like to play, fish ponds, walk the bank, fish for brim, fish for crappie, go saltwater fishing. So one thing most people don't realize when you're building a rod series is there's a lot of back-end work that goes on to make it come to pass. So you always have to have a place to start. I think every fisherman out there, they may have a rod from this company that they really like, but they really need to tweak this or that on it. And they may like this type of handle, but maybe the guides are trash. So what I did with these rods is I took a bunch of elements that I liked from over the years from fishing and owning just about everything that exists and pulling those elements all into this one pot to make them exactly what I wanted. And that goes all the way from the panfish rod to the 7'2" cranking rod. So every rod is a mosh of specific elements to make it exactly what you need it to be. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. One of the motivations behind this rod series specifically was the panfish rod. I even felt weird asking. I was like, can we put a panfish rod in my lineups? Having kids made me explore fishing in a way that I never would have before, because you're just bass fishing, you're competitive fishing, you just kind of get in that grind. But having kids and being able to fish with them, we started doing some other stuff. We'd go night fishing, we'd go pan fishing, with saltwater fish. And so my kids had a lot to do with, they had a lot of influence on how these rods turned out, because my kids they use the bait casters and the cranking rods too, but they had a lot of influence on the lengths, the actions, and how well they work too.
How big do you think that one is?
Probably like 5 times.
It's so hard to explain what it feels like to watch your kid reel in a fish. Right here where we're fishing today, my little girl, she actually caught her personal best. I let her reel in her personal best on that panfish rod. And it was just like a little crappie jig. The feeling that you get when you see your kids experience fishing in its most simple format. We weren't in a boat, we weren't doing anything. We're literally just walking the bank. And to watch her reel in a 4-pound bass on 4-pound test line on a crappie rod is it's a feeling that can only be experienced and not explained. Cool thing about fishing is there's a lot of different lanes you can get in. A lot of people are competitive fishermen. A lot of people are shoreline fishermen. There's kayak fishermen. There's so many different lanes when it comes to fishing, and we all have a different purpose for our equipment, for our boats, or just for our purpose of fishing in general. But one thing we all want is our equipment to work. Like, we want the best rods, we want the best lures, the best lines. Because truly, honestly, like, if you got good equipment, I'm just gonna be honest with you, it makes the experience better. Do you have to have the best equipment? Not necessarily, but it definitely makes the experience better. And that's what I wanted to accomplish with this rod series, is to actually give people a tool that levels up their fishing experience. Levels up where you're not worried about a rod breaking. You got a rod that feels comfortable in your hand if you got to use it for 15 hours straight. The right size rods if you're a kayaker, or if you like to catch crappie, or if you like to throw a crankbait. Having the perfect size, power, action, that stuff matters. And so, as simple as fishing is, having the best tools it just levels up the experience. I think we accomplished that with this rod series.